Oh, sorry, I was just reading Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. $6.99 at any bookstore near you. Anyway, this is Walworth, my crib. I'm John Wemmick, and I like to keep my office life away from home, you know what I'm saying? In fact, I've even said, no, the office is one thing, and private life is another. When I go into the office, I leave the castle behind me, and when I come into the castle, I leave the office behind me. I'm really two different people. My Walworth self and my Jagger self. And that's why I'm such a quirky character in Great Expectations. I just heard. Pip just called me a dry man, rather short in stature, with a square wooden face whose expression seemed to have been imperfectly chipped out with a dull-edged chisel. There were some marks in it that might have been dimples, but the material had been softer and the instrument finer, but which, as it was, were only dents. Are you serious? Is that seriously what he thinks of me? Oh, maybe it means that I'm a very serious man. I like to think that too, but only in my workplace. In fact, he said I almost had dimples. Maybe I was smiling back at home, but you know, at work comes first. So, apparently Pip has been saying some stuff about me in this book, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, $6.99 in any bookstore. He even said, it struck me that Wemmick walked among the prisoners, much as the gardener might walk among his plants. This was first put into my head by seeing a shoot that had come up in the night saying, "What? Captain Tom, are you there? Ah, indeed. And also, is that Black Bill behind the cistern? Why, I didn't look for you these 2 months. How do you find yourself?" Equaling as stopping at the bars and attending to anxious whispers. Always singly. Wemmick, with his post office in an immovable state, looked at them while in conference as if he were taking particular notice of the advance they had made since last observed towards coming out in full blow at their trial. So, does Pip really think I'm comfortable around prisoners? Really? I guess I could be, but I don't really know. I'm in Walworth right now. But is that really what my job life is like? Am I really comfortable among the scum of the earth? I don't know. But maybe that's what Charles Dickens is saying in this book, Great Expectations, for $6.99 at any bookstore. Finally found some stuff about me that actually made me look like the guy I am in Walworth and not the office guy. It says, proceeding into the castle again, we found the aged heating the poker with expectant eyes as a preliminary to the performance of this great nightly ceremony. Wemmick stood with his watch in his hand until the moment was come for him to take the red-hot poker from the aged and repair to the battery. He took it and went out, and presently the stinger went off with a bang that shook the crazy little box of the cottage as it must fall to pieces and made every glass and teacup in it ring. Upon this the aged, who I believe would have been blown out of his armchair but for holding on by the elbows, cried out exultingly, "He's fired! I heard him." So you guys see, I'm really a nice guy at Walworth, and even at Jagger's office, I mean, I'm not exactly me, but you don't really see the real me there. I love my aged parent, and I love this book, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Reading of Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, you know, the one for $6.99 in any bookstore. And I found something really good that I did at Walworth. After Pip explained his Hurrrdurrrr troubles, I said, "Well, you know, Mr. Pip, I must tell you one thing. This is devilish good of you." "Say you'll help me to be good then," said Pip. "Ecod," I replied, shaking my head. "That's not my trade." "Nor is this your trading place," said Pip. "You are right," I returned. "You hit the nail on the head. Mr. Pip, I'll put on my considering cap, and I think all you want to do may be done by degrees. Giffens, that's her brother, is an accountant and agent. I'll look him up and go to work for you." So you see, guys, I said no at the office, and suddenly I just said yes at Walworth. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm really a nice guy, aren't I? Reading my favorite book. I think you know what it is, but in case you're just joining us right now, Great Expectations, Charles Dickens, $6.99 in any bookstore. Anyway, my dad said about me, "You made acquaintance with my son, sir," said the old man to Pip in his chirping way while he warmed his hands at the blaze. "At his office, I expect." Pip nodded. "Ah, I have heard that my son is a wonderful hand at his business, sir." Pip nodded harder. "Yes, so they tell me. His business is the law." Pip nodded harder. "What makes it more surprising in my son," said the old man, "for he is not brought up to the law, but to the wine coopering." So you see, guys, I brought up to my family trade, but I kind of left my family when I went to the law. Maybe that's why I want to split myself from Jagger's office, because I left my family's trade and went to the law. So I just don't want to bring it back with me, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Great Expectations. We can have this talk, right? It's kind of embarrassing, but I was reading a book. You know, I had some extra time reading Great Expectations by Charles Dickens for $6.99 in any bookstore, and I found something bad that I did at Jagger's office. This kid, he seemed like a kid to me at the time, but this man came up to me and started shedding tears about his case. And I said, "What are you about?" demanded I, with the utmost indignation. "What do you come sniveling here for?" "I didn't go to do it, Mr. Wemmick." "You did," said I. "How dare you? You're not in a fit state to come here. If you can't come here without spluttering like a bat pen, what do you mean by it? Now look here, my man," said Mr. Jaggers, advancing a step and pointing to the door. "Get out of this office. I'll have no feelings here. Get out." "It serves you right," said I. "Get out." So you guys see, I showed a little weakness to Jaggers earlier when Pip told him about my Walworth life, and I just wanted to get over it. So I went back to my job life, but I'm afraid I was not very hospitable, and I kicked that old man out of our office. But you know what always cheers me up? Great Expectations by Charles Dickens for $6.99 at any bookstore. Thank you.